People from a planet without flowers would think we must be mad with joy the whole time to have such things around us. So, like probably most of you, when I started with photography, I took pictures of anything that got in front of my lens, and most of that everything was actually nature. And so it happened that I grew up watching all of these amazing wildlife photographers and nature landscape photographers traveling the entire world, going to all of these amazing epic locations. And on one hand, obviously that was incredibly inspiring, but on the other hand, it also made me feel a little bit, I guess it made it feel a little bit unreachable. Like I could never do this because obviously I don't live in all of these amazing places. But then I think one thing that I'm realizing more and more is that beauty and nature is really everywhere. I mean, you exist wherever you are, obviously, so the probability that there's something else that's really beautiful that also exists there is pretty big, I would say. So it doesn't really matter where you are. What matters is that the things that you do take, so if I'm now in my garden here, I'm going to try to sort of give it my own spin, because no one is you, no one has exactly your view of the world, which means no one can take pictures like you. Just one day, random day, my mother said something along the lines of how beautiful the day is, like she does very often, and for some reason on that day I looked out and into this garden and I saw, yeah, it actually is a really beautiful day. I know this sounds really silly, but I just, for some reason that one day I realized it. So, okay, let's try to make the most of this beautiful day and hopefully get some amazing images. I have no idea what I'm going to do. This is really spontaneous. We're just going to see what I can get. Alright, let's go! And so, like a complete beginner, I started just wandering around my garden with no real aim. Just looking for anything that might make a good image.
Everybody seems to know that I'm the one who crossed the line, and it got me lost. Everybody says the same, searching for a way to find a path back to self-control, but it got me lost. Everybody claims the same.
So, there might actually, ironically, not be any flowers right now, but there's something way more exciting. I can't even believe this myself right now that this is just happening, but there seem to be an incredible amount of hornets. I think they're hornets. And so, yeah, I mean, now obviously I think I know what I'm going to try to take a picture of. I think it's a little bit risky because they seem to be quite aggressive. I think hornets in general are just quite aggressive. But yeah, I really want to get a picture of these hornets now. See what I mean? One day I go out in the garden to try to take pictures and there's just seemingly a swarm of hornets. Okay. Alright, so right now my tactic is just basically lock onto a single wasp, make sure it's in focus, and then just get closer and closer and just spray and pray. Just all the way through and hope that one image is good. Just basically spray and pray. But already I'm realizing I don't think this is really gonna give me any good images because there's a minimal focusing distance on this lens. It's not a macro lens, which means I can't get very close to the wasp. So there are many ways that you could potentially fix that. One is obviously buying a macro lens, which is incredibly expensive. Another version is these macro filters that you can use. I don't have any of that, but I do have this, which is another really cheap way to get something like a macro lens. Basically, it's just these extension tubes that you can just put between the camera and the lens, and that will decrease the minimal focusing distance so you can actually get closer. So yeah, I'm going to try these right now. Sort of put these in between the lens and the camera. So these are the beginner images, the type of images that I could get with just walking out with my normal camera in the garden. And while taking these, I accidentally took this image. So obviously this isn't a good picture at all. It's out of focus and the Hornet isn't even completely in the frame. But for some ridiculous reason I thought that this meant if I really try, I could manage to get a good image of a Hornet in flight. I accidentally took a picture where a Hornet is sort of flying away, it's in the air, but I think ambition sort of struck me and now I really want to get a Hornet in flight. I know this seems completely ridiculous and I don't know. I don't even know if that's possible right now. I've never seen a picture like that, but I really want to manage that now. So up until that point, these are the images that I was able to get using the extension tube. So this seems to have solved the problem of not being able to get very close, but solving this problem also created a whole lot of other problems. The first one being that now that I am so close, the depth of field is incredibly shallow. And so in return, the only thing you can do is raise your aperture, which means now there's not enough light. So basically I can choose right now between not having enough light but being really close, or not being close but having enough light. Yeah, so I need to find a solution to that. So it's a new day and this is that solution. This is a flash specifically designed to do macro photography. So I put this on the front, on the top of the camera, and then this here gets attached to the front of the lens. This is hopefully going to solve all of these problems that I'm having. So yeah, so again, a very nice day. Let's see if we can get any better images using this flash. So I've been trying out this new setup now for quite a while, and I guess I should have seen this coming, but it does actually solve all the problems that I was having. But again, like last time, it also just creates so many more new problems, which I guess is a good thing. It means I'm getting closer and closer. But this time, the problem is, well, first of all, I can only take one single image, because obviously whenever you use flash, you can't use a burst anymore, so I can't just spray and pray all the way through. I actually have to just wait for the perfect moment, or what I think is the perfect moment, and just take one single photo. And that leads me to my last problem, which is that if I'm trying to get a Hornet in flight and I'm looking through the camera or looking at my LCD screen here, if I see them taking off through my screen, by the time I've taken the picture, they're long gone. Which means that now I kind of have to always just blindly predict when I think the Hornet is going to take off. I can't look at my camera or anything. I'll show you what I mean by that. So basically in the beginning, as I showed you, I just sprayed and prayed all the way through. So, and now what I have to do is I try to see how far the distance exactly has to be. So I'll just focus on this plant here and see, alright, the distance has to be exactly this distance. Now if I'm here, it's going to be out of focus. If I'm here, out of focus. It has to be exactly here. And so then I'll try to find the Hornet. Just let's say right there is a Hornet. I try to predict it. I try to blindly, without looking at my screen or through the viewfinder, I look at the Hornet, try to predict the exact distance, and then predict exactly when it's going to take off. So let's say it's going to take off, and I go 3, 2, 1, bam! And that's when I take the picture. And I'm just going to have to do this again and again and again, because obviously this is incredibly difficult. I don't know if this is even possible. I've never seen this done before. But yeah, I went from just spray and pray to blindly taking one single picture, predicting when the Hornet will fly away. But this is honestly really fun. So close.
Come on. It was just a hornet that kidnapped and killed the wasp. It just flew up to the wasp, grabbed it, killed it right there and then flew up. And I could get pictures and video and all of it and all. What just happened? Yes! I think I got it. Hold on, let me check. Whoa. It's in flight, it's in focus, and it's completely in frame. This feels exactly like winning a match in sports. This is amazing. That is so cool, and you can see so much detail. Oh my god. I want to keep trying now. This is so good. I can only win from now on out. So, that was it. What an adventure. And to think that all of this quite literally happened in my backyard. It just goes to show that you don't have to travel to all of these epic locations to live through some epic adventures. I think this is a reminder that beauty is everywhere. All you have to do is look, and sometimes maybe just be a little bit more mad with joy to be living on a planet with flowers.